Hi everyone, welcome back to another channel. This is your girl Glenaville Manarang. Welcome to Solish Fam, podcast. It's not really a podcast, but video. So today's topic is about things I wish I have learned growing up. First of all, if you have not subscribed, please do so to support my channel. And so the first thing that we must learn growing up, as much as you can if you're in the teenage years, this is something that you really have to learn right now. Define success on your own terms. Each one of us, unfortunately, are given the kind of standard by our society, families, that they want us to pursue in life. However, success is actually your own definition. You must know that. As a young age, nobody really told me what success looks like. What success looks like in the old days are go to college, get some degree. I'm not saying that there's something wrong about getting a degree and achieving something like a career. However, that is something that we're always pushed, but we're never told that success is actually something that you achieved. It's something that you desire to do. And the moment you accomplish something, like for instance, if you want to create a YouTube channel and if you have done it, you are successful indeed. If you want to write a book, and I already have my book written. If you want to purchase my first book, it is now available through Amazon. The link is down below. Then you can actually make sure that you feel good, because when you've done something, you become successful. Moving on to second point that I want to make is that I wish I have learned to be content. So contentment is something that the Bible talks about all the time. When Paul wrote in Philippians 4:11-13, it says, I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content, whatever the circumstances. So in every season or situation, learn to stay contented. Many of us, especially in our generation today, we always want to accumulate more stuff, more things, more wealth, more of things. Unfortunately, it becomes to the extreme that we don't really need that much in our lives. How much clothes do you possibly need? How much shoes can you possibly wear? I'm pretty sure, I'm not telling you to become minimalist. I know that some of you like to have so many trinkets or shiny objects hanging around your closet that you don't usually need. But apparently we are told as a child of God, a follower of Christ, to be content. I'm not saying that you should not follow your dreams. I know it's counterintuitive. Because when you say contented, does it mean that I should not have dreams or goals to achieve in life? That is not the case, because the Bible is also clear. A man or a woman without a vision, she or he will perish. So in essence, we are told that in circumstances, whatever season that you may have, maybe you're a student right now going to college, pursuing a career, then you must learn to be content and showing up and doing the best that you can. It's about quality over quantity. Or if you're a mother right now, a stay-home mom, and you're juggling with so many tasks, taking care of your kids, doing the laundry, cooking for your husband and for your children as well. These are the things that you have to be contented right now, even if maybe sometimes you just rather want to have a career or get a job. But then we are told that in every season, in every circumstances, God said you have to bloom where you're planted. You are not going to just say, I'm in the wrong time, at the right time, or the wrong place, or I'm not really doing the things that I should do. God usually is the one who appoints us, and he gives us this temporary job, because everything shall pass. This thing shall pass. Just remember the seasons of your life. I was not always married. I didn't have a child then. I also had a phase in the season of my life where I was single. There was also a season of my life that I was struggling financially. There was also a season of my life that I was dealing with depression and suicidal thoughts. But those seasons, the difficulties in my life, those were the times that I really God was building my character. And those were the moments those were the seasons of hardships. Those were the seasons of thinking to myself if I could ever going to make it, until I have now become another version of myself. I am in the season of laboring the fruit of the hardships. It is now reaping the good things of what God said to me, that I will double the portion. Whatever the devil meant to harm you, I will turn it around for good. So I am in the season of blessing. Glory to God. I'm the season of highly being favored. I am now in the season of God pouring out his goodness and mercy of really, that he promised us that whatever really the devil is going to harm you and do things to just rob you of your treasure that God has given you, or the promises that God has given you, he said, I'm going to give it to you abundantly, exceedingly, because that's how God really gives us. And the third thing that I wish I have known as a child is that you put God first in your life. Place God above anything in this life. If you can take any valuable lesson on my video, is that I always want to say to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not in your own understanding. Proverbs 3:5-6. But in everything acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Trust is something that is very hard to earn. Yes, we should trust other people, but blessed is the man who trusts in God, but cursed is the man who trusts in a man. Our trust is not just people. We must put God above everyone else, because people have a tendency to lie. They usually like to omit some valuable information for their own sake. They have a hidden agenda. Usually they have a hidden motive. And sometimes they don't usually tell us the whole truth, because if someone in your life who is not willing to tell the whole truth, haphazardly, half-baked, that is still considered a lie. So this is why it's important that before you decide in your life, whatever decisions you're going to make, whether you're getting married, especially marriage, it's a very important decision to make in your life, who you're going to marry, the places that you should go, the people that you should hang out with. You must ask God to reveal to you, because God is the only one who sees everything. He's the one who knows everything. You not even have to be present in the room. God hears any conversation that is taking place in that room. God will reveal to you the kind of people that are trustworthy and the kind of people that you should stay away from. This is why it's better that you put God first and trust him with all your heart and ask him for discernment and wisdom, especially when making decisions that humans usually will leave out some important details, but God is always going to give you some important details for your sake. He will never lead you astray. Unlike people, sometimes people will lie to you and they will lead you astray because they don't really want you to finish the race where God has set before you. And then of course, another one, just keep on counting, I don't really know, maybe we're fourth now, is learning the golden rule. Golden rule, as the Bible is clear in Matthew 7:12, do unto others as you would want others do unto you. I know this is easier said than done, especially when you have encountered a lot of toxic, narcissistic people in your life. You could say to yourself, how can I love other people and do to them that they don't deserve it? Because we do grow up in our family members or even in our friendships with narcissistic people. Even Jesus would say, love your enemies and do not curse them and do not persecute them. I'm not saying that you should be a doormat. I'm not saying that you should just be taken advantage of, especially when these people have a track record of lying to you and using something against you. Really not stooping down to people's level. If they have been playing these stupid mind games with you, there's always a time to do that, but at the same time, you must also be the bigger version of yourself, where you just have to have emotional intelligence, and sometimes you just have to observe people and take notes. And really, God is going to show you when is it time to reveal to you the kind of people that you're dealing with. So doing unto others, it doesn't mean that you must be always getting abused or always be taken advantage of. It's something about really just have your boundaries. You have respect to people, but not overly respectful that they're just going to take advantage of you. Respect is to be earned. Do not be blinded, or do not just be fooled just because people are nice on your face. That means that they're genuine. There are a lot of people today that could look like they're friendly on the outside, but they're actually not have the kind of heart that you should trust. There are a lot of people today that are so demonically challenged, and they are influenced by demons that they could look so nice in front of you, but deep down inside their heart, they're actually from the devil himself. So that's why do unto others is not about just being nice. You have to have discernment. You need to have the kind of the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Jesus said, first of all, you must have to have we hurt others because it's a reflection of how we treat others. Okay, so when people act out, isn't because of you. When they act out, when they do things that is so childish and juvenile, they play the stupid games, it's not because it's towards you. It's about who they are. It's a reflection of how they feel about themselves. It is a reflection of what's going on in the inner dialogue or their kind of traumas that they have not healed So probably people that are just toxic, narcissistic, they don't really have the Spirit of God in them. And then I think number 5 is adjust your paradigm. Perspective in life, or paradigm. We all have different paradigms. You see things differently. I see things differently because we are influenced by our upbringing. Usually we're influenced by education system. It is the things that we saw on television, the books that we read, and how you were brought up into this world. So your paradigm is a reflection again of all the accumulative things you have learned in life. It used to be that my paradigm was so tainted. I thought that people are always nice, that people are always going to be kind to you, that no one in this world is ever going to hurt you, that God forbid people are going to go out their way to provoke you, to insult you, or to gaslight you, or to just do things to harm people. Perhaps I was so naive, thinking to myself that this is not the kind of world, until bad things happen to you, until bad things do happen to you, and people that you love, that you should trust, are the ones who will hurt you the most. And then your paradigm will shift, especially when you have been traumatized by people. Your perspective in life, not just about in life in general, but how you see the people. And now you start to think to yourself, I guess this is not really a safe place to be. This is not where you should trust everyone, that not everyone should be invited in your circle, that not everyone have a best interest at heart. Not everyone is going to support you, and not everyone is going to applaud you, and not everyone is going to love you. So this is why when you adjust your paradigm, usually it's shifted when you become mature, when you develop the character of discerning. Because if you are so naive, when you're still young and you're naive and you don't know any better and you have not a lot of experiences in life, sometimes we are so innocent and we're gullible. But the moment you have experienced a lot, you have accumulated all those experiences, then you realize that actually your paradigm says a lot of it all. So it doesn't mean that your husband or your friends or your mom or your sister's paradigm is the same as you. Again, it all based on how you perceive things. It's how you analyze things. It's how you actually observe things, and after you observe things, how you conclude it. Majority of us usually have a conclusion. It's because of what is the internal dialogue that's happening inside of us. It's how we've been thinking and the process of our thoughts that has been happening for many years. That's why we do have different kinds of paradigm. Your paradigm is probably positive sometimes, or negative. Sometimes maybe you could be pessimistic or optimistic. So each one of us, again, we don't have all set of standards that have the same paradigm. As I said, to each has its own way of trying to decipher and making sense of the world around you, and especially the people that you surround yourself with. And then another thing is that becoming who you want to become. I love what this quote says, not what you get, but what you become. Many of us really do not know how to be. Becoming the person that we would want to be. The becoming is about not the doing part. There is a big difference between the doing versus becoming. When you want to do something, it's something to do with action word. It's the verb. But when you become, it's about your essence. It's about who you become as a person, what kind of characteristics, the persona that you would like to portray and to embrace or cultivate. So when you become a person, maybe you want to become a classy lady, a timeless lady, or maybe you want to become more intelligent, more educated woman, or more versatile in some areas. Becoming is a character. It is something that people may not always judge it based on your appearance, but the way that you carry yourself, the way that you just bring or exude this elegance when you walk into the room, the kind of aura, the presence that you bring to the table, the kind of conversation that you make people feel. It's something to do about how you are remembered by. It's not just how you make them actually feel, but you are remembered by, maybe it's because of the way you make them feel good or the way you talk to them. Again, it depends on the people. I myself usually changes depending on how I am comfortable with the person I talk to. Sometimes there are people that I have very bad aura vibration that I tend to put boundaries and put a wall up. Not a lot of people in my life. I'm very selective of the kind of people that I trust, the kind of people that I'm very comfortable talking. If I'm comfortable with you, I am most likely very talkative. I usually like to open up myself. But when we already have a history of falling out before, when I know exactly who you are, like you're a gossiper, you're a troublemaker, you're a drama queen, and I already have known that about you, so I will just remember that, and I will have boundaries that you're not going to do the same thing what you did before, because you live as you learn. So this is why when you truly know who you are, you become aware of the people around you, that now you're going to tell to yourself, I already have a history about this person, therefore I do not trust this person anymore. That now you're going to have all this information in your head to protect you, because you already have this kind of information that tells you, remember the last time that you're so friendly with this person and they just stab you in the back, or they gossip about you, or they're just drama queen or competitive because they're insecure. So these are the kind of awareness of becoming aware, becoming confident, that have self-esteem, loving yourself, becoming the person that you would want to become, which is better version of yourself, the way that God created you. I'm not saying that you should be pompous and arrogant. You give people what they actually, you meet people of where they're at. You have to really just give them maybe not too much of yourself. You cannot be so available for everybody else, because at the end of the day, you are going to be so depleted of your energy, and next thing you know, you are just going to resent that. That's why you have to leave a little bit of room for yourself to grow, to nurture yourself, and to have self-care, because if you don't, you are just going to beat yourself up. And then the thing that I also want to say is, according to Jim Rohn, the major key to your better future is you. That's my last point for now. I think these are just the list that I would like to give you today. These are the things that I wish I've known. So the major key to your better future is you. You are your greatest investment. Value makes a difference in results. You get paid for your value. When you know your value, your worth. So when people, women especially, are always out there showing yourself, especially today on social media, Instagram, you have actually diminished your value. When you're a woman who's always trying to expose yourself, like skin, nudity, nakedness, and you go outside and your tits are hanging, your cleavage are hanging, and your legs are showing, and you may wonder to yourself, why do men not take me seriously? Why can't I have a boyfriend or a man who's gonna marry me? Why do I not taken this seriously of a high value woman? It's because you did not invest in yourself. You think that the only way for you to get something in return is for you to get naked and for you to expose your private parts. But actually, the greatest investment you can make for yourself is about loving yourself, knowing your worth. It's not about waiting for someone to applaud you, not waiting for someone's validation, not waiting for someone's signal to say, this is what you should do with your life. So these are the things that you should have to learn that at the early age. Your value is not contingent upon people's approval or their validation, or saying, yes, I love you only if you do this. When people are going to give you those conditions and those things that they want you to do, that's not love. That's actually an act of manipulation, because if a person really loves you, they will support you. They will support you no matter what kind of endeavor you're going to do in this world, whatever path you want to take. But when people are trying to diminish your light and they will try to discourage you of wherever God is calling you, then you must watch out for those kind of people, because the value, as remember what Jim Rohn said, your future is better off when you do things your way, as long as you are not violating any laws, you're not harming other people, you're not stepping on somebody else's toes, and you know exactly what God has called you to do. That's why it's important that to know thy oneself, to master yourself, and to know God's will for your life. You can become unstoppable. You will become the best person of yourself. I used to think that there must be a one size fits all for everybody. because that's what our family says, the standard of society. Just because everyone in your family is a lawyer, a nurse, a doctor, then you must be one. This is why when you are a person who is trying to shake that status quo, who is trying to get out of that comfort zone, to get out of that mold, they will look at you as if you have three heads, because they would rather you want to follow their footsteps. When you don't really know who you are and what you want, most likely they're going to dictate to you of how you should live your life, the kind of things that you should do, what kind of careers you should follow. This is why when you know your future and the kind of future you want to engage or to create for yourself, then no matter what people say, even if they don't agree with you or they may not understand what you're doing, then you should really do not bother about what they have to say. If they have nothing to prove, if they have nothing to show you for it, then you should not listen to this kind of people. So those are just the ways and the things that I wish I have learned as a child and growing up. And I wish that somebody would have told me this so that I would have saved myself from any trials or heartaches rather. So these are the things that I wish I have learned, and I hope that you will learn from this video. Until next time, I will see you. Be bold, be brave, and be courageous. I will see you in my next video.